89 Abhishek 89.
Yes, sir.
My voice is audible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 160.
Yes, sir.
Voice is clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all of you. In previous class, we have discussed the new chapter, that is introduction of continuous beams. So almost 90% of the students given seminar on the continuous beam, and also I discussed main 4 points, and today we'll see one theorem, that is Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. Once I'll share the screen now. (161) Sudhir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay. All of you open your notebooks and start today's class. That is, the next is Clapeyron's theorem of three moment. See here, the next topic is Clapeyron's theorem of three moments, or it is also called as a three moment theorem. Three moment theorem, TMT. TMT. So the next topic is Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. Then it is also called as a three moment theorem, TMT. Actually, what the Clapeyron's theorem says here. What the Clapeyron's theorem says here. That is, it is having three distinct bending moment equation. Bending moment equations. It means by using of Clapeyron's theorem here, we can find the three moments at a time. Three bending moments at a time. Suppose this is one example figure, A, B, C. A, B, C. By using of Clapeyron's theorem, we can find the moment at A, moment at B, moment at C at a time. At a time. It means MA, MB, MC. MA, MB, MC. And as per our yesterday's discussion here, what is the third point? Yesterday I told you third point and fourth point. Both are the importance. Here the third point is if end moments are simply supported. If end moments are simply supported, then the moment is zero. In these points, MA and MC both are the end moment. So here it is MA is equal to 0, MC is equal to 0. And at point B, we have a one support, then it is called as the intermediate support. But always your intermediate supports in the negative value. Always in the sense means 99% of the chances will get negative value only here. here at point B, MB is equal to, you will get some negative value. 99% of the chances. Maybe sometimes that also only 1%. That also only 1% will get positive. Will get positive value at bending moment B. Now, see this theorem, whatever the Clapeyron's theorem, Clapeyron's theorem is only applicable for continuous beams. This theorem is only applicable for continuous beams. But don't apply this theorem to fixed beam, simply supported beam, like that. Don't apply for fixed and simply supported. See, you can apply only for continuous beams, because the Clapeyron's theorem is only applicable for continuous beams. See, in this Clapeyron's theorem, we should have follow one equation. Here, we should follow one equation for Clapeyron's theorem. See, what is that equation? MA into L1 plus 2MB into L1 plus L2 plus MC L2 plus 6A1 X1 by L1 plus 6A2 X2 by L2 is equal to 0. All of you note down this formula. See, in this chapter, in this continuous beam, we have to follow only this formula. Entire problems, whatever the problems we are having in the continuous beam, we should follow only this formula. All of you note down this formula and remember this formula carefully. That is MA into L1 plus 2MB into L1 plus L2 plus MC into L2 plus 6A1 X1 by L1 plus 6A2 X2 by L2. So this is the Clapeyron's theorem, or else three moment theorem formula. Now, in this formula, what are the terms we are having here? That is MA and L1 and MB and L2 and MC, as well as A1 and X1, A2 and X2. So these are the terms we are having in this equation. Now, what about the terms indications here? Where MA is moment at A. I'll show you here. Once listen carefully. See, MA is moment at this point. MA is moment at A, this point. Now, what about the L1 here? What about the L1? See, L1 is here from A to B span. From A to B span. That is called as a L1. Next, 2 times of MB. See, why it is 2 times of MB means, here whatever the MB, it is having 2 members, left side member, right side member, 2 members. Okay, now these 2 members meet at one point. So here we need to find out the moment at B. See, where MB is here, moment at B. Where MB is moment at B. Now, L1, already we discussed about L1. L1 is from A to B span here. L1 is A to B span. Now L2. L2 is B to C span. L2 is B to C span. Now MC. MC is moment at C, where MC is the moment at C, that is bending moment at point C. Next, where L2 is equal to span of BC, where L2 is equal to span of BC. Why it is L1 and L2 means, see, from A to B it is the first beam, from B to C it is the second beam, from A to B it is the first beam, from B to C it is the second beam. So that reason we are going to take two types of spans, that is L1 and L2, that is L1 and L2. Now what about A1 and X1 and A2 and X2? What about A1 and X1, A2 and X2? So these two are the very important. So before going to explain the A1 and X1 terms as well as A2 and X2 terms, first of all I'll show you one diagram clearly. Observe here clearly. So from this diagram, see, this is only for example diagram. This is example because here we have a unknowns of A1 X1, A2 X2. So that reason I am giving only one example. See, this is your continuous beam A, B and C. A, B and C, and from A to B one load is acting, indicate P, indicate load as P, and it is eccentric point load here. From A to B it is eccentric point load, and from B to C it is having uniformly distributed load, uniformly distributed load, W Newton per meter or else W kilonewton per meter, whatever it may be. And see here, from A to B it is having eccentric point load. It means the distance from load to left side is A, from load to right side is B. So we can say the whole span from A to B is L1. Next, from B to C, the whole span is L2. The whole span is L2. Now here from this figure we need to find out the unknowns. The unknowns A1, A2, X1, X2. So these four terms we are going to find here. Okay. Now, so before finding the A1, A2, X1, X2, what is the first step here? What is the first step in the continuous beam Clapeyron's theorem? That is, the first step is to find out free bending moment diagram, free bending moment diagram, or else we can say it as a maximum bending moment diagram, maximum bending moment diagram. Once I'll extend this line, and at point C also extend the line, and see, in this point we are having load. So here also extend somewhat distance. So this is your extension. Now from this one calculate the free bending moment diagram or else maximum bending moment diagram. See, already you know that how to find out these things. You can apply the equation of equilibrium, or else once you can observe in the standard formulas here. In the third unit, it means in the previous unit we have two standard cases. That is, in the first case, in the first table, totally 8 diagrams are available. See, in these 8 diagrams, which diagram is suitable for our case number 1? In the case number 1, it is the, see, it means you can observe only from A to B. You can observe only A to B. After that, after completion of AB, next will go for BC. Here I am explaining only AB. From A to B beam. After that we'll go for BC. Now, in the AB beam, what is our concept? It is the A and B are having simply supports. A and B are having in simply supports, and one load is acting. One load is acting, but it is eccentric point load because the distances are vary here. At A distance is different, at B distance is also different. Suppose if it is a 10-meter span, from A to B it is a 10-meter span, then from A to up to the load, maybe it is a 3-meter or 4-meter, and remaining here uh, 6-meter or 7-meter, like that. So it is the eccentric point load. Now, once again open the standard formulas. In the standard formulas, here also you can observe the concept. What is our main concept? Both ends are simply supports and it is eccentric point load. Now, so in this all diagrams here, fifth diagram is suitable. Fifth diagram is suitable. See here, both ends are simply supports, both ends are simply supports, and the load is acting, but it is eccentric point load. Eccentric point load. And here, what about the shape of bending moment diagram here? Triangle shape. The shape of bending moment here, triangle shape. And what about the maximum bending moment here? What about the maximum bending moment? WAB by L. Okay. In the same way, you can draw here. First of all, try to draw the maximum bending moment diagram from A to B. From A to B. See, at point A, it is simply support. So here moment is 0. At point B, this is also simply support. So the moment is 0. And your load is P. Your load is acting in this point. So your maximum bending moment somewhere acting here. That is the height of bending moment is WAB by L. Already we discussed it in the standard tables. Here the maximum bending moment, our formula is WAB by L, but here your load is indicated as P. So P into A into B by L. In place of L we have L1 here. L1. P into AB by L1. Actually, what is our formula? WAB by L. W means load. So in place of W, I have substituted P value. That's it. And here L is the span. But from A to B, my span is L1. Next. This is your L1. Now, This is your first beam. A to B is the first beam. Next to B to C is the second beam. B to C is the second beam. See, in the B to C, at point B it is simply support. At point C also it is simply support. And from B to C, UDL is acting throughout the span. UDL is acting throughout the span. Our span is here L2. Now open the standard formulas. In these standard formulas, which diagram is suitable for our case? Once observe the sixth case, that is at point A, at point B, both ends are the simply supports, and from A to B is acting uniformly distributed load. And here the shape of bending moment diagram is parabolic shape, and the maximum bending moment value here WL square by 8. WL square by 8. So same way you can draw here. I'll choose other color. From B to C, from B to C, it is uniformly distributed load. It means the shape of bending moment diagram here parabolic shape. And see, in the uniformly distributed load, you will get maximum bending moment at mid span. It means in this point you will get your maximum bending moment. So what about that value? Just now we discussed, that is WL square by 8, and your whole span is L2. Already we know that your whole span is L2, and your maximum bending moment here WL square by 8. WL square by 8. Now see, or else do one thing, that is, first of all, whatever the beam we are having here, I'll draw clearly here. See, A, B, C, A, B, C, and here it is P and A, B, L1. Next here UDL, W Newton per meter, and it is L2. See, do one thing, that is, first of all, in the case number 1, totally it is continuous beam, and three supports are having A, B, C. Here A, B, C are the supports, and in this continuous beam, two beams are having Here the beams are two. That is AB and BC are the two different types of beams. Now, in the case number 1, do one thing. First split into this continuous beam. First split this beam. That is from A to B, one beam, and the load is acting P, A, B, and whole span is L1. And second is B to C, it is uniformly distributed load. This is easy for you. If you split into the beam, then it is easy concept. See, the first case 1, split into beams. So this is the splitting. Okay. Now see here, whatever the diagrams we are having, same diagram draw here. That's it. Same diagrams draw here. then you can easily understand. So here, somewhere here, you will get maximum bending moment. Somewhere here, you will get maximum bending moment. That value is P into A into B into L1. A, B. Here, DC span is L2. Now, this is a uniformly distributed load, so you will get a parabolic shape here. It means at mid span you will get maximum bending moment. The value is W L square by 8, but L square means it's a second span. It's a second span. Now, here what is our main concept? What about A1 and A2? Once you see here, this is first case. In the second case, find out A1 and A2. What about the A1? What about the A2 here? That is A1 means first beam. A2 is second beam. Okay, A1 is the first beam, A2 is the second beam. It means here A1 is area of beam one's bending moment diagram. Here in the first case, this is bending moment diagram, maximum bending moment diagram, or else free bending moment diagram. Based on that diagram, we'll calculate area of beam one's bending moment diagram. See how to find out here, where A1 is equal to, find out area. It means A, B and maximum bending moment. See, it is a shape of triangle shape. It means area of triangle here. Area of triangle in this case. What about the area of triangle? Half into base into height. Half into base into height. So that is half into base means L1. Height means P into AB by L1. So this is the A1. How to get A1 here means, so first of all try to draw the free bending moment diagram. Based on that we'll calculate the area of beam 1 bending moment diagram. A1 is here, area of B1's bending moment diagram. Now what about the A2 here? What about the A2 here? A2 also same. A2 is second beam area. Second beam area. Here the second beam is BC. BC is the second beam. So we'll find out the area of second beam. I'll write clearly here. Area of beam 2's bending moment diagram. Now, what about the area of second beam? See, P, C, maximum bending moment, and it is a shape of parabolic. It is a shape of parabolic. Now, what about the area of parabola here? Area of parabola, that is 2/3 of base into height. 2/3 of base into height. It means 2/3. Here base is L2 into height is W L2 square by 8. W L2 square by 8. So these are the area 1 and area 2. Area 1 and area 2. Now what about x1 and x2? See, a1 a2, that is areas, no problem. Now what about x1, what about x2? Here both x1 and x2 are the centroid. Centroid. X1 is also a centroid, x2 also a centroid. But which one is for x1, which one is for x2? That will explain later. First complete up to here. First complete up to here. All of you complete up to here. Then we'll go for what is x1 and what is x2. పోయినట్టే ఉన్నాడు అనుకుంటా. See, up to now, the terms, what is actual MA, L1, MB, L2, MC, A1, A2, all are completed. Next remaining we have X1 and X2. See, actually what is X1 and what is X2? Both are centroid only. Both are centroid. But how to take x1 and x2? How to take x1 and x2? That is important. So first complete up to here. Then we'll go for x1 and x2. (163) Gauri,
Yes, sir.
is it completed or still writing?
Completed, sir.
Okay, 164 Sridhar.
Yes, sir.
Sridhar, is it completed or still writing?
Heading, sir.
Okay, write it fast. Remaining also write it fast. We'll go for centroid. Here in the continuous beam, the problems are very easy. Just how to apply the Clapeyron's theorem, that is important. That's it. If you listen one problem carefully, then it is very easy. Yes. Now, what is x1 and x2? What is x1 and x2 here? See, first of all, whatever the free bending moment diagrams are in the continuous beam, first draw that diagram here. Same diagram. Okay. Now, here the second one is uniformly distributed load. Uniformly distributed load. Here, maybe somewhere here, your center of gravity is acting. Center of gravity is acting. CG. Center of gravity is indicated as G. This is A, B, B, C. C. Okay. See in the second diagram. This is the first diagram. This is the second diagram. In the second diagram, it is look like a parabolic shape, but your center of gravity is acting middle of the span. Middle of the span. This is your G. That is your G. Okay. Now see, observe clearly. It is very important how to find the center of gravity. How to find the center of gravity. Generally, this is your maximum load, means here from up to here it is A, and the remaining it is B, and the whole span is here L1. Already we know that. Next here, whole span is L2. Whole span is L2. Okay. Now, what about x1? What about x2? See, when we are calculating the first beam, it means x1. Forget about x2 here. Forget about x2. Just I am explaining for only x1. What about the x1? See, in the first diagram, if you observe clearly, we are having center of gravity at this point, and the distances are, we are having two distances. If you take from center of gravity to left side, that is XL, and if you take from center of gravity to right side, we are having other distance, that is XR. It means distance of left side, distance of right side. Okay. Now coming to the second beam diagram. Here, if you take from center of gravity to left side, the distance is XL. If you take from center of gravity to right side, that is XR. It means right side distance as well as left side distance. Now, from the first beam, what is the X1 here? First of all, it is the eccentric point load. Now here, what about the XL? What about the XL and what about the XR here? See, XL is equal to, we are calculating only left part. See, generally you know that in the triangle, what about the center of gravity of both sides? One is 1/3 distance, other one is 2/3 distance. When it is nearer to the base, then it is a 1/3. When it is far away from, it is 2/3 of distance. Here XL is, we are calculating left side, so A, left side is A, plus our whole span is L1. Whole span is L1. It means it is the distance. A plus L1 is the distance X by 3. Next, what about the right side distance? Right side distance. See, this is the right side. So directly we can write it as a B plus L1 by 3. It means in place of 2x, here write B plus L1 by 3. So these are the distances from center of gravity to left side and right side of the first beam. Now here the second beam, extend this line. What about the XL here? See, your parabolic shape is acting L2 by 2 here, L2 by 2 here, L2 by 2 and L2 by 2. It means where XL is the L2 by 2 and here right side distance XR is the, it is also L2 by 2. It is also L2 by 2 because the center of gravity is acting middle of the span in the second diagram. So that reason half of the span will be divided to both distance, left side distance as well as right side distance. Okay, now see totally how many distances are available? XL is 1, here XR, here also 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Totally how many distances of centroids are there? If you take the first diagram, XL and XR. If you take the second diagram, XL and XR. Now, what about X1 and what about X2 here? That is important. See, X1 is the distance, X1 distance of centroid of beam 1, beam 1, bending moment diagram from left. From left. It means x1 is here, whatever the value will get, a plus L1 by 3, that is our centroid, that is our x1. So here, in this formula, in place of x1, substitute a plus L1 by 3, that is distance of centroid of B1 bending moment diagram from left. That is your x1. Now, in this second diagram, what about x2 here? That is distance of centroid of beam to bending moment diagram from right. So that is here what is the right? XR is equal to L2 by 2. In this case, this is your x2. It means x right part. So in the formula, whatever the formula we are having here, in that formula, substitute x1 is x1 is distance of centroid of beam 1 bending moment diagram from left part. Next, if the second one, in the formula we are having x2, that is distance of centroid of beam to bending moment diagram from right. So this is the x1 and x2. Or else you can write formula like this: MAL1, or else write like this: MAL1 plus 2MB into L1 plus L2 plus MCL2 plus 6 A1 XL by L1 plus 6 A2 XR by L2. So you can write like this also, no problem. Previously we discussed A6 A1 X1 by L1, 6 A2 X2 by L2. See, you can choose any one. You can write XL or XR, no problem. Or else you can take X1 and X2, no problem. In the formula, you can take any one. But don't confuse while taking the center of gravity values. Don't confuse here, first of all. Where X1 is the distance of centroid of left side, where x2 is the distance of centroid of beam 2 bending moment from right part. So these are the terms: a1, a2, x1, x2, or else xl, xr and MA, MB, MC and L1, L2. So these are the terms in the Clapeyron's theorem. So in the next class, I'll explain one table. In the table, what are the loads are acting? What about the bending moment diagram shape? What about the area of that bending moment diagram? And what about the centroid left and right? So that all parts will explain in the next class. Complete up to here. Seventy, Monica.
Yes,
One
sir.
70, Monica, is it completed or writing?
Completed, sir.
Okay, 175, Vishnu. 175, Vishnu. 79, Shiva. 170, Shiva, is it
Yes, sir.
completed or not? Okay,
Writing,
write
sir.
it fast.
Once, can you press the
Yeah,
screen,
this
sir?
is the screen.